When you picture an animal that's known for its longevity, you might be thinking of a giant tortoise. That's because they are one of the longest living animals on Earth, with some species exceeding 100 years old. But why do they live so long? Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Now, we humans would love to unlock the secrets of the incredibly long-lived so that we can live longer ourselves. And while there is no magic pill for extending our lifespans, learning about what makes other animals live so long can be beneficial for us. Ultimately, learning what contributes to a species' longevity can offer insights into how we can lead healthier lives and avoid age-related diseases. So let's get started. First up, let's talk about these little guys. Their life expectancy varies depending on the species, but many live into their 70s and 80s, and some can live over 100 years. And giant tortoises tend to live longer than their smaller relatives. For instance, the Galapagos Islands are home to multiple species of giant tortoises, including at least 3 that can live for over 100 years. But even though the Galapagos Islands are only 600 miles away from Ecuador, the tortoises there live much longer than their close relative, the Ecuadorian tortoise, which typically only lives up to 50 years old. Now, there are a few reasons for this. One is that giant tortoises have slower metabolisms than their smaller relatives. Slower metabolisms mean that they use energy more slowly, which can result in longer lifespans. In fact, researchers have discovered that, regardless of species, animals with slower metabolisms generally live longer than those with faster ones. That's why a mouse with a slow metabolism can live up to 4 years longer than a mouse with a fast metabolism. Giant tortoises also tend to be less sexually active once they reach maturity, which means they produce fewer offspring and therefore have more resources to devote to themselves. By reducing the amount of energy they spend finding mates and producing offspring, they can focus more on growing and maintaining their bodies, which likely contributes to their long lifespans. But there's something else going on here too. I mentioned earlier that Galapagos tortoises tend to live longer than Ecuadorian tortoises. Well, it turns out that if you raise an Ecuadorian tortoise in the wild, it will only live up to around 50 years old, just like we said before. But if you take that same tortoise and raise it in captivity in the Galapagos Islands, it can live up to 100 years old. And when researchers looked at wild Galapagos tortoises, they found that the oldest ones were born in the same year that humans first arrived in the Galapagos Islands, meaning that they had lived through major changes in the environment. So while it's true that being a giant tortoise helps you live longer, it's not the whole story. There are other factors at play here too. For example, giant tortoises today face threats such as habitat destruction and invasive species that can limit their lifespan. But those giant tortoises born before these threats took hold have been able to live much longer than expected. In fact, some of them may have lived to be over 200 years old. In short, being a giant tortoise gives you a head start on a long life, but it's up to you to make the most of it. These little guys really do have it all: a helpful genetic predisposition, a lifestyle that promotes longevity, and few predators. It's no wonder they live so long. While we might not be able to live to 200 years old, applying the lessons we learn from other long-lived species can help us live longer, healthier lives. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more animal videos to come. See you next time.